Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for my presentation on transforming data transformations. My name is Adam Tyner, and I'm a Senior Product Manager here at InterSystems. Today, I'm excited to give you a brief sneak peek into our future vision for making healthcare interoperability more simple, more intelligent, and more robust. For decades, many of us in this room have been on a shared journey together. We built the digital backbone to the modern healthcare system. Together with InterSystems, you've made a positive and meaningful impact in the lives of a multitude of patients' lives. InterSystems was founded in 1978. Our software is used to manage over 1 billion patient records worldwide. In the United States alone, we have over 2/3 of patient records managed using our technology. The rules keep changing, but we're still here, proud to be your partner. When I first started in the industry more than 10 years ago, FHIR was just being introduced in the United States. It was the latest in a long line of standards that HL7 had introduced. They continue to push the envelope of interoperability forwards. As you can see from this graphic, however, the need for those other standards still remains strong. For HL7 v2, over 35 countries have implemented HL7 v2. Over 100 CDA documents are still transacted in the United States every second. And last year alone, HL7 published 45 FHIR implementation guides. These numbers continue to expand every year. It's pretty clear that the need for interoperability remains strong and unresolved. Developers today face a labyrinth of transformation challenges. They have different standards, different formats, different tools, subjective interpretations, custom implementations. It's a real maze. This overhead can significantly delay project delivery, and it can also lead to data quality issues. We believe that we can find a way through the maze. And what you're about to see is a work in progress, and we look forward to receiving your feedback here today and in future conversations. We're building a new toolkit, the Unified Transformation Framework. It's designed to cut a path straight through to the other side of that maze. It'll provide you with a single, intelligent, and streamlined framework that'll work for all healthcare transformations across all InterSystems products. The toolkit provides you with a 3-step process. With the data atlas, you'll map it. With the code gen engine, you'll build it. And with the Universal Transformation API, you'll use it. In the following slides, I'll show you how. First in our toolkit is a data atlas. This is the map it step. It shows you every route. It helps you to identify dead ends. It enables you to chart a new course, and it supports all standards and all formats. Initially, this will be a simple JSON file that will be maintained by InterSystems developers, but eventually the goal is to make this the single source of truth for us and for our customers. As we develop this feature, we also intend to leverage AI for mapping recommendations and to augment our semantic definitions. Next in the toolkit is the code gen engine. This is the build it step. It builds new pathways from the data atlas maps. It automatically picks the best tool for the job, whether that's XSLT, DTL, object script. It takes the guesswork out. You don't need to worry about it. The process for creating those builds will be much simpler than it is today. For those of you that still want to remain in the driver's seat, however, don't worry. We're not going to take that away from you. You can still pop open the hood and work with the code directly. We're not going to stop you. Finally, the Universal Transformation API completes the toolkit. This is the use it step. It's the key to unlocking the door out of the gateway. It provides you with a single, out of the maze. It provides you with a single gateway in and out. There's no twists and turns through the API. It gives you one direct path. It knows where all the code lives, and it can access it on demand. Effectively, this will take all of our out-of-the-box mappings and wrap them in a single IPM deployable module. Now let me show you how this all works together. Meet Anna. Anna is an integrations developer, and she's working on a CCDA to FHIR mapping project. Everywhere that she's looking is a dead end. She's trying to find answers. She's not a clinical expert, so she has to ramp up her understanding. This takes potentially hours, days, weeks, in order to get herself up to speed. Then she finds out that the mappings either do or do not exist, and she has to dig through documentation to find out which technologies she needs to build those implementations. Then, in the maze, she discovers the data atlas. From here, she starts to find her way. She learns about existing pathways, and she can even add a few of her own. Then she goes back to her office. She brings the data atlas home, and the CodeGen engine is able to automatically build new routes. No bespoke coding knowledge is required. She uses one transform call on the Universal Transformation API, and Anna escapes the maze. Maybe she can finally take that hiking trip that she's been putting off. But really what's going to happen is actually the API is going to return one uniform response regardless of the input and output format. We're going to have a structure that will be easily repeatable and reliable for her to follow. Now she can work on something more important, more valuable than digging through standards documentation. She can get back to working on the original intent of whatever her project was. So what does this mean for you? If you're an existing customer, we'll be able to provide you with a safer upgrade path for your custom transformations. If you're a developer, it means that you're going to spend less time digging through documentation and handwriting code. If you're a business user, you'll have data lineage and clinical context will be maintained throughout the transformation process. Now, as a product manager, the most common question that I get is, that's great, when can I have it? Here's the good news, you're not going to have to wait long for some of these features. You're going to get the Universal Transformation API will be GA by the end of this year. That includes support for thousands of certified InterSystems transformation. So Fire, CDA, HL7, V2, X12, you'll get all of that out of the box. We're targeting pilots for Data Atlas and CodeGen engine for next year, and we plan to work with a targeted set of customers to help us refine and define that. Additionally, the Data Atlas itself will be expanded to support additional data models. In 25, we will have support for the Fire data model, which will enable you as a customer and ourselves to have a full understanding of the lineage and pathways and mappings that exist from Fire to our canonical model. And in 2026, we'll continue to expand that out. Then in 2027, we're looking to target this to get it in your hands. But in 2027. In 2026, we want to spend a lot of that time focusing on hardening this and making it so that it works right. It's very foundational to our product suite. So in anticipation of some of the questions that people may have, I put together a few FAQs, and I figured I'd run through these with you all. So how does the Unified Transformation Framework impact my current InterSystems products? The good news here is that it doesn't need to. If you're happy with how things work today, you can keep everything exactly how it is. There's no change that is required. As we phase the rollout of this framework, other InterSystems products will be able to benefit. If you met with my colleague Jim Powers or listened to his presentation, he spoke about the CDA validators and the work that they're doing to continue to expand our transformations. Those will make their way into the Unified Transformation Framework. If you're a Fire Transformation Service customer, there will be no change to what you're using there today. You will just eventually will gain the benefits of additional transformations that do not yet exist in the Fire Transformation Service. Most of that change will be seamless. There could be some upgrade requirements for you. We'll determine that as we move forward with our development. Next question, is a data atlas a GUI? No, not really, not to start with. It will be a JSON file that you can open VS Code to read. But eventually I do envision this having a user interface. It makes sense to have the ability for people to be able to, business users, developers, anyone to be able to navigate and understand the mappings and the transformation process and have a full view of what is happening inside of the product. Our org uses a lot of custom Z segments and other non-standard fields. How will the Data Atlas and the CodeGen engine handle these customizations? So we plan to continue to build out, as I mentioned in the previous slide, support for additional models in the Data Atlas in 2026. In addition to that, we also intend to build out support for a bring your own model or bring your own data mode, which will enable you to handle these Z segments in non-standard fields. It's clearly a requirement for healthcare organizations. It's not a non-standard case for customers to have non-standard fields. So it's absolutely in scope. It will not be supported in the initial release. What happens to my custom transformation code? So that's going to get incorporated into the Unified Transformation Framework. The API that we're building will handle routing between your custom transforms and the out-of-box transforms. That's the long-term goal. In order for us to get there, we're going to extend the tooling that we're using to load the data atlas. So to load the data atlas initially, we're going to leverage all of our existing transformation code, and we're going to read from that to load the data atlas with metadata. The same tooling that we're building to load that metadata into the data atlas will eventually find its way into the hands of customers. And with that, my short and sweet presentation is over, and before I wrap up, I wanted to point out that there were some previous sessions that you all should attend if you have not. They should still be available for recordings, either video or audio, so please be sure to check these ones out. There's a whole lot more than what I could fit on this slide that I wanted to shout out to, but these are definitely very relevant to the work that we're doing. Also, just to remind you, everyone should fill out their surveys and sign up for any EAP programs that you are interested in. And that concludes my presentation. So I will turn it over for any questions or comments.
Hello. I understand that a lot of new InterSystems features and functionality are being delivered to customers asynchronous from some of the major releases that occur throughout the year. So that's both for features in Iris as well as some of the health share features. The transformation framework, is this meant to be delivered to customers specifically synchronous with health share product releases or asynchronous from that?
Great question. This will not be tied to a health share release. This is meant to be a InterSystems product, and so it will be a independent release. We don't have a time frame for the release aside from it will be in 25, and so it's more likely going to be towards the end of the 25 time frame than our health share release cycle, which is October for 25.2.
And for those that are extremely excited about it, is there going to be backward compatibility with versions that are currently in the field?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. We need to be able to support backwards compatibility, so absolutely will be in scope.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sebastian.
You mentioned AI is going to play a piece of the puzzle here. Can you go into a little bit more detail about what you expect out of the AI component?
Yeah, absolutely. So for AI, I'm planning to have us utilize it in two different ways. So part of it is to give us some mapping recommendations. So we'll end up pulling down specifications from implementation guides, comparing it to our canonical model, and looking at what the logic may be to be able to trace between to create a full pathway using all the semantic definitions. And the other side of that is using AI to produce some of those semantic definitions. We're also, if anyone has been paying attention, we're also obviously going to keep a human in the loop for any of this. We don't plan to brute force AI decision-making into the process. There will always be somebody that is involved in making the final sign-off. Yep, thank you. Great question. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you all attending my session today and look forward to chatting with you in future conversations. Thanks.